Just making coffee. I'm in your rugged cross. A little hot. Good night, everyone.
I don't know, guys. Hello, everyone.
So I cherish you, rugged cross. When I trophies. People are crazy trying to rob the dispensary. This sounds interesting. Day 1. The Revenge Mom murder trial. Interesting. You don't think so, guys? I don't know what this case about.
She's accused of helping her son, Keith Agee, plan the murder of his ex-girlfriend, 18-year-old Brooklyn Sims, who was also the mother of his child. Keith Agee was found guilty during his trial in 2023 and sentenced to life in prison.
His mission was to find, shoot,
Listen.
and kill Brooklyn Sims. He found her, he shot her, and he killed her.
Keith testified that he was so mad at Sims after he found out that he tested positive for an STD that he got in his car and drove to a Home Depot in Pensacola, Florida, where Sims was working.
I pulled my firearm from my waistband and I proceeded to shoot Brooklyn.
Before the shooting, Keith exchanged dozens of text messages with his mother. According to the affidavit, Sheila worked at the same Home Depot with Sims and gave Keith the address so he could, quote, ride over here and do it. And
Wow.
she called him a, quote, if he did not kill Sims.
Wow.
Sheila Agee's attorney says she never believed her son would actually kill Sims. This is Sheila's second trial. The first one was in 2024 and ended in a mistrial after a juror was caught with a crossword puzzle during testimony and again during deliberation. And other jurors told the judge that yelling during deliberations made them feel unsafe.
Wow. I'm good. How you doing, Wild Dog? This case sounds interesting. People are crazy. This is tomorrow, too.
December 2nd, 2022.
Listen.
Deer hunters in Riceboro, Georgia, find the torso of a nude, headless woman deep in the woods of a local hunting club. Investigators found the rest of her remains scattered.
How you doing, Wild Dog?
3 to
I'm
4
eating
mile
sausage, bacon,
radius
cheese.
across 3 counties. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations released composite sketches of the unidentified woman in hopes of giving her a name.
Wow.
5 months later, on May 11, 2023, police announced that they found the remains of Mindy LeBain Casotis. They used DNA from family members to make the positive identification. Mindy Casotis
I understand. I
was
feel
40 years
sometimes
old.
that way, too.
The day after the remains were identified, her husband, Nicholas, was arrested in Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
So this case, as the court knows, is incredibly gruesome in a way that I believe will create additional trauma.
Nicholas Casotis, who was also known by the alias Nicholas Killian James Stark, was extradited back to Georgia and charged with malice murder, aggravated assault, and removal of human body parts from the scene of death. Prosecutors say in the months before Mindy's death, she and Nicholas were on the run because of an outstanding $1.5 million judgment owed to his first wife,
Wow.
Heather Thomas.
Its motive for him being on the run. It explains the story started all because of this.
All about money.
WTOC was in the courtroom when his attorney argued that the money was not the motive, but that a mystery man named Jim McIntyre was involved with the case.
Jim McIntyre, whether clearly that wasn't his real name, absolutely exists. They were moving every few days, few weeks, few months.
Oh, why they been living? That sucked.
Keep calling Jim McIntyre.
Nicholas Casotis has pleaded not guilty. If he is convicted, he could be sentenced to up to life in prison.
What, do they want advice? That sucks. I am not okay. I'm never getting by. Losing once again. Sleeping late at night. I am not okay. You'll be okay, wild dog. I hope the trip does go well. You leave this week, right? When do you leave again? Yeah, that sucks. That I cannot relate to. My brothers and none of my brothers are married. Only my youngest brother, he has a girlfriend. You leave the same week Rich leaves. Wow, that sucks. Everyone that's coming in, please like and subscribe. Oh, what condition does she has? That's why I try to go visit her, cause especially my mother. My mother has macular degeneration. She doesn't see. That would be funny if you meet if y'all. That would be hilarious if y'all got the same plane tickets. That would be funny. How you doing, EJ? Don't forget to like and subscribe. Oh, that sucks. Never heard of that. I didn't know that. How many people have it? 1 in what? 1 in 4, 1 in 10, 1 in 500. How you doing? What's up? Oh, Parkinson's. Yeah, my grandmother's husband died of Parkinson's, I think 2 years ago, 3 years ago. He was 81. It is sad. The average person lives to 81. You don't pass your 81 birthday, that's it. And it's sad, but for 5 years, wow. Your Parkinson's lasts is terminal, but within 10 years. 10 or 15 years, yeah. That sucks. Now, how old is your mother now? '70? Wow. A lot of people don't live to 70 either. The men in my family don't live to 70. Usually. Both of my grandfathers died at 65. My great grandfather died at 65 as well. My cousin died at 32. I know I can't be the only one. My brother gave me this cup of Starbucks. I love Starbucks. You don't think she can? Oh, wow, that sucks. But she still remembers stuff, right? No. The last time we got it was last summer. We do get a first question. No, not today. Oh, so when you have Parkinson's, because there's people that have Parkinson's, and on top of that, they have Alzheimer's. What's up, Ruben? Yeah, because I know I have family members that happened to, that they got Parkinson's and Alzheimer's disease. And that fucking sucks when that happens. Just chilling, drinking coffee. I just add milk and sugar. I don't buy that Starbucks, but Starbucks is too expensive. How you doing, Ram Ranch, bro? Yeah. Oh, you wish that. Yeah. Yeah, I'd rather not be not. Yeah. And then eventually you stop eating and stuff like that. Everyone, hit that like button. Please like and subscribe. And come take a smoke session with me, guys. We're gonna smoke some. You spent $8 for a cup of coffee? Hell no. Where you bought the coffee at? Oh, cause that's a specialty drink. Specialty drinks are more expensive than coffee. I never get the specialty drinks. Hell no, I don't tip. You generous. I don't tip. They're doing the job already. They get paid. They get paid enough here. $21 an hour. That's enough. Yeah. Oh. Oh. That's cool, a bong. Too much cleaning. I'd rather not to be doing that at this time. But you're 3 hours ahead behind me, so paper is easier and no much to clean. Paper is easier to dispose and no, I do not kiss. There's a couple people here. Yo, people got lives, bro. People not gonna be here all the time, so I gotta make new friends. Live. YouTube had billions of people, bro. Live. Happy? I'm okay. Don't forget to hit that like button. Please like and subscribe for your boy. No, we not kissing here. No, I don't do no kissing. Am I sober? Yes. Depending sober on what? No, I'm not sober. I'm high. So I can't. The answer would be no.
Tsunami waves, they first hit Russia and Japan, where nearly 2 million people were evacuated. We saw
They still talking about this shit.
in Hokkaido and northern Japan on rooftops, making sure that they were okay, which is very scary. Of course, as we know, there was a
Let's time you out for 5 minutes. Stop talking. Stop talking on that yaya. That garbage.
But in terms of damage coming out of Russia, the earthquake, we have seen video of a kindergarten that was damaged, and also some of the coastlines. They're rocking those ships, and that's what we've seen so far out of Russia and Japan.
We're following the breaking news of a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake triggering tsunami alerts for Japan and Alaska, Hawaii, and the U.S. West Coast. CNN's Ivan Watson joins me from Hong Kong. Ivan, we've seen
Yeah, this channel been streaming since the 30th, 3 days.
Far East Coast, but initial waves in Japan, thankfully, are lower than expected. But where do things stand right now, and what is expected from here?
Right. Well, everybody's watching this very closely and taking it very seriously. The initial impact from this earthquake, just about 4 hours ago exactly, you had some buildings damaged in this sparsely populated region of eastern Russia, the Kamchatka region. And then we see images in social media of flooding, of tsunamis coming
But it wasn't that bad. We had flooding here too in the Bronx because of the rain.
Some evacuations and ordered residents to go to seek
Not my
help
neighborhood,
in
but
some
my mom
regions.
lives.
And the initial estimates of a tsunami they arrived as less than expected, only about a foot.
That's why
high
we prepared
wave.
when
But
we had
they're
Hurricane
taking
Sandy.
chances. In
We build
2011,
and we
there
did
was a
what we had to
9.1
do.
magnitude
So if it happens
earthquake that
again,
killed more than
they're good briggers
20,000
and
people
they're good
in
riggers.
Japan due to the tsunami
Smoke.
and the ensuing nuclear
Jiggers.
Fukushima reactor disaster. The entire Pacific Rim. There are
Hit that
tsunami
like button,
warnings
guys.
from
Like. Don't forget to
Indonesia
like
the
and subscribe,
Philippines,
guys.
to Ecuador,
How you doing,
Chile,
Miguel?
and of course to the U.S. territories of Guam, Hawaii, where there are some evacuation orders, and then Alaska and Northern California and Oregon and Washington. There we are estimating that the arrival time of possible tsunamis are still at least an hour away, but this is something that authorities are taking very, very seriously. This was the 6th most powerful earthquake ever recorded, 8.8 magnitude. Laura?
Ivan Watson, thank you so much. Keep us posted. Breaking news tonight, tsunami alerts for the entire U.S. West Coast after a massive 8.8 magnitude earthquake struck off of Russia's east coast. Those warnings include Alaska, Hawaii, and the entire U.S. West Coast. We are learning that the first tsunami waves have already been detected in parts of Russia and also Japan. Now, this is the strongest quake on the planet since 2011.
Who next hurts?
When a 9.0
Yours. I hope you
magnitude
feel
tremor
better.
hit northeast Japan and triggered a devastating tsunami. CNN's Ivan Watson is live for us now in Hong Kong. Ivan, what can you tell us?
Well, Abby, it's been about 3.5 hours since this massive earthquake struck off the eastern coast
Oh, this is old.
of Russia's Kamchatka region. And as you pointed out, 8.8
I don't want to listen to this shit if it's the same shit. Sean B, what's up? Have you heard of this case, Sean B? I might watch it tomorrow. Oh, if I can find it. I was just showing it earlier. Mossad. I don't know what was that. Oh, it's your cell phone? We don't talk about religion here, guys. No religion in politics. Oh, your internet. I have Verizon. Is it your data or? Damn, that sucks. Why? He's not ending it. He's been saying that for a whole week now. If anybody asks me that question, is the instant ban. Sean B, Wild Dog. Anybody asks me, am I gay? Instant ban them, cause I'm not. I'm smoking weed. I'm not by either. Just don't ask personal questions about my sexuality. He said his show is tanking. His show is not tanking. I think his show is doing pretty well. Up. That's good. You're not getting opinion on fentanyl. I think is a cigarettes are terrible. I think cigarettes should be banned. And they should replace them with marijuana. Put them on the shelf and sell packs of marijuana. Like that's good. Like, you know, they do the pack of cigarettes, but they could make, instead of stuffing them, guys, you could talk, like, you know, instead of filled, like, the paper, they roll them, make cigarette marijuana, and and then they just sell marijuana instead of tobacco and nicotine, and ban cigarettes, make cigarettes illegal. If you get caught, you do prison time. Um, Opinions on Yeti. I have no opinions on that. So you should be allowed to kill. It says a pack for $10. If yes they will if they put you in prison like they used to for marijuana. They'll do something. Opioids are very bad. It's only needed. It's opioids are like, opioids. You're not supposed to take it every day. Like if you have pain, if the pain's that bad, you take one. That's it. You wait, and then the next you can take it the next day. You could take maybe once every other day, but to take them I don't. But we don't. But you're not smoking tobacco. It's not only tobacco. You're smoking nicotine as well, what causes cancer. But technically, smoking anything causes cancer. You, if you really want to get the benefits of marijuana, it's better to edibles, because technically your lungs are not meant to inhale anything. Yo guys, hit that like button. Sean B, if you're still here, put that for me. Link my stuff like you always do. Thank you. Yeah. Opinions on metaphysics. I don't really know much about physics, so I can't really tell you much. Next question or comment. If you want to ask me, like, I know what meta is. Like, like if you want to ask me in a different way, probably tomorrow. Usually do them every day. In Australia, also the regular government regulations for which should not be entered in the lungs. Oh, that makes sense. But guess what? Oh, but I'm not in Australia. I'm in the United States of America. It's technically not day. It's nighttime for me. it's almost 4 in the morning, so I can't really tell you. How's my morning going? Everything else is good. But I hope you fix that internet, Sean B. Try to see if you could get a good deal with Verizon. My Verizon bill is $60 a month for 1 gig, and I have no problems. But you gotta see if it's available in your area too. Cause I got Verizon, and what's that other company? Some other company that sucks. Otherwise, fruities fruities are people that eat fruits. Hell no, I'm not dressing up as an animal. Unless I'm going to like a animal fest and stuff. Nope. Nah. Well, I've been to every provider you can imagine. I've been through AT&T, hated it. Sprint, terrible. T-Mobile, terrible. Then I used to have Virgin Mobile. Remember Virgin Mobile back in the days? That was the first phone I had. Back in the days, my aunt, she got me. It was a Virgin Mobile USA phone. It was about this size. It was white. And it's white. And it was white. And it said Virgin Mobile. And I remember back then, and I don't know if you're my age, guys. We don't talk about age, by the way. But remember back then when you had to call on the weekends to get unlimited talk, text, and data, weekends or nights, and then so you don't go over your minutes. And then you get a certain amount of minutes per month. That was whack. Getting a certain amount of minutes per month sucked. Like I think you get like 1,000 minutes a month, and then nights and weekends were free. Good ass times, guys. Nights and weekends were free. And trust me, 1,000 minutes a month is not much. Oh, but you gotta read the fine print. It says slow down speed at 32 gigabytes per month. So if there's traffic, no, if you talk about religion, you'll get banned. So let's say if there's traffic, the hours of this traffic, the internet's terrible. Cat, how you doing, Can? Cat. No, we don't talk about politics either. How was work today, Cat? Nope, we don't talk about that either. I think you're trolling. I think the traffic is alright. I just don't like that we have to pay in New York. You have to pay for to drive. Congestion pricing. $9 to come into the city every day, and $9 to come to the city. Yep. So if you come into New York under 60th Street, I believe, you have to pay $9 a day. So 9 times, it's expensive. I take the train, but the price is going up in January. In January, thank you for subscribing. In January, January 4th, 2026 is going up to $3. Right now it's $2.90. What is your I don't really care about OnlyFans. People do what they want. If men want to pay for that, OnlyFans is like YouTube. Back then, YouTube people used to post the the same thing on YouTube. Or it depends what train station you take. Like if you take the New York the New Jersey Transit, they usually go about the same price. So $3. But everything else, do I like him as a politician? No. I don't think he should ever ran for president. It is still cheap because imagine taking a taxi every day. It is cheaper though. Nope. We're not talking about religion here. Oh boy. Pride Month. When is Pride Month? In June? Technically, yes, because it's not on it's it's not only they don't only do they don't only do gay pride, but they do the Puerto Rican pride, they do the Dominican pride, they do pride about everything, like just to be you, you know. So like that whole month, they all they like it's not only it has nothing to do with it's not only with the LGBT. So during that month, like I watched I watched the parade. Are you black? No, I am not black. Technically, I am. I'm 1% black, which is not much. What if a gay man attracted to you? No, I don't play with that shit. Boundaries are boundaries, bro. I'll be I'll be unflattered, but I don't go that way. I'll be only like women. Who kissed me on the train? We got a bunch of trolls here. No, I cannot say that. Nope. The trolls are out here tonight. Do I like massages or messages? Because I like text messages. And Sean B doesn't have Discord, so sorry to bust your bubbles. Maybe one day, but that's not today. Please, cut it out, guys. Some people will start getting banned. Don't be inappropriate. I don't like nudes, bro. Please don't ask for money. I'ma block you. Stop doing that. I'm gonna start banning people. Guys, behave yourselves. Let's stop being perverts. Oh, my dog's haircut. It turned out pretty well. You didn't see that the last live I did. I showed her. She's actually sleeping, so I don't want to bother her right now. Next time, if you come back on and I'm live, I'll show her. It turned out pretty well. She loved it. Uh, She don't even get a haircut. The lady cut her nails. Clean her poop. You never know. Maybe one day, it could be like 20 years from now. If there's no other social media, maybe he'll join Discord. But right now, he's not into that. Discord is alright. I do it like because certain games I play, and there's people like if I play strategy games and I want to talk to people there, I talk to them there. But otherwise, there's no other apps I use. I use YouTube a lot. I used to use TikTok a lot, but not no more because TikTok next month M2's coming out. TikTok's supposed to get banned. So let's see what happens. I'll probably join M2. Yep. Once I join M2, I'll be multi-streaming. So I'll be on M2, the new. No, I'm snorting my hands. I'm smoking weed. So I'll be going on that and then the new TikTok and that's it. When I'm gonna snort on my boogers. Yeah. I'll be on that. I love I like the. I got it because I knew the Petitos, Gabby's parents were gonna be on it. But otherwise, TikTok, it's easy to get monetized with that. Hopefully they don't take 50%. Cause I'm not gonna go on. I'm not gonna waste my time on an app. They're gonna take half my check. Nah. They're probably not because it's gonna be American, so it doesn't matter what I think. Because the law is the law. I think the government is a hypocrite. I think that's one thing. But otherwise, I don't know. The government already said if TikTok doesn't sell, they have to be banned. And then these idiots, because I'm following this YouTuber here, idiots have the nerve. A standoff at Delta dispensary with suspects and hostages. People have the nerve to rob a medical, not a medical dispensary, to try to rob a freaking place. Look, I listen to it now.
CGI. And who's the bigwig?
Somebody's
Who's
stupid.
the bigwig?
Somebody has the nerve to try to rob a dispensary, a weed dispensary. Not. It's
Thank you,
just.
Todd.
It's
The
just
rest
a
in
now.
peace to everybody.
A
That way everybody
standoff
can rest
now.
in peace to this and rest in peace to that. Thank you for always being morbid, sir. I appreciate it. Really helps me out when I try to keep a nice, people upbeat, having fun. Every 2 minutes, it's this person died. Now we know we have phones.
They still stand off with the.
In this area, we didn't see him pop out in any of the other sides, so if that bike's still in there, chances are he's still bed down somewhere in this
So
part of
I'll
the structure.
continue to do what I do. He'll continue to do what he does.
H5810 you
Here we
reacquired
are.
the suspect in the structure area. You didn't see him pop out on any of the other sides. Just the motorcyclist
Todd,
side.
I've never picked on you for anything other than that, and if you say that I have, that's a lie. It's the same thing every time with you, Todd. Every time.
Yep.
Doom and gloom. Big earthquake hit. We know we all have phones. Lonnie Anderson died. Yes, we know. I'm sorry. I like Lonnie. But it's hard to keep things fun and upbeat when you keep coming in here with this person died and that person died and oh there's a mass shooting here. Come here and say some nice stuff. Tell me the fucking Guardians won, and I know you do that after you did the 10 rest in pieces. Please, I've asked him so many times nicely, and he knows that. He knows that. This isn't the first time we've had this conversation. This is not. And it's not poor Todd. Not you, Todd Joseph. I'm talking to Todd C. He loves the dooming and glooming in here. I'm dooming and glooming it with you, Todd. You want the doom and gloom? I brought the doom and gloom. Here we are.
Nothing's going on that channel. Hope everybody's doing all right today. Oh, hi, J-Man. How you doing, J-Man? I know. They are part paranoid. We should be paranoid of the U.S. government. Because the government lies about us all the time. To us all the time. I don't want to watch this shit. Yep. Especially now, the government's corrupt. They've been corrupt. Oh, Brian Koberger is in the solitary confinement now. That's what this guy's saying. Did you hear about that, guys?
His life in solitary for BK. And this is Surviving the Survivor, the show that brings you the very best guests in
Brian
all of true
Kohlberger
crime.
killed 4 people.
We've been on top of the Idaho 4 murders since the story first broke back on November 13th of 2022. You know, I always start the show
Idaho.
remembering the victims. Of course, Kaylee Gonzalez, Maddie Mogan, her best friend. Then you've got Xana Kernodle and boyfriend Ethan Chapin. Ethan, of course, a triplet. Just such a tragic story, and it continues. And the latest news, of course, Brian Kohlberger, BK, as he shall be known for here and evermore, or by his inmate number, has officially been moved to solitary confinement.
BK, like the
at,
Burger King.
The IMSI. Of course, that is the Idaho Maximum Security Institution. It is a place that I was able to visit while I was in Boise covering the story. We did a video under the video tab. Please take the time to watch that. Also, please hit the like and subscribe button. But underneath the video tab, you will see a tour I did behind the scenes of the IMSI.
BK,
and it was horrific
your
in
way.
there, in a word. I can't really describe it beyond the video that you can watch. Just a very sterile environment. We were in B block, which is one of the long-term solitary housing units. Brian Kohlberger is in the J block, very similar. But within that B block, I asked the warden when we were with him, a guy named Randy Valley, who seemed like an amiable and decent guy. I asked him, where are all the inmates? I've told this story before on STS. And he told me, well, they're in their cell. That's what they do all day. I thought that they were out in the yard, maybe showering. And then when I looked closer, you could see through those windows that are just slats, you could see images of different faces and or heads of the inmates kind of bouncing up to see what we were doing there. They all knew that there was a media tour going on. I was there along with News Nation and some people from the Idaho Statesman. It was just chilling. The smells, the sounds, it's anxiety.
I would never want to
because
visit a prison.
You're in there, you're walking out. When you get up to the entrance, and the facility there actually has 6 different institutions in it. Of course, IMSI, the Idaho Maximum Security Institution, it houses death row. It has 8 male death row inmates, and there's a single female on death row at a different Idaho prison. But the IMSI by far is the most secure of all the facilities. And of course, that is where BK is now. So just to give a breakdown of his day, someone described it as living in your bathroom for the rest of your life. And that's essentially what it is, except it's
No, they
worse.
don't need to spend more money on
23 hours per day in his cell, 1 hour or less of outdoor time daily. And I was able to visit the yard, and essentially inmates are in cages. When you're outside, you're in a cage. There's a little bit of sunlight peering in if you're lucky. The block for inmates with mental health issues, they have a mural in there of the mountain, the sun and some trees. And that's literally sometimes the only nature that you see, and it's only if you're in that particular unit. But where BK is held now, a much different story. The only thing he's going to see is basically a steel metal door with a slat for a window on the door side, so security and corrections officers can look in, and then a slat or a window facing outside, where he can maybe catch a squirrel running by here and there. I'm not sure which way he faces. It's possible he just faces another wall. It's possible he faces outside. But it is a grim proposition. This is a guy who is 30 years old, who could live to 80 or 85, although life expectancy is much shorter in the prison system, especially when you're a lifer. But let's say he goes the next 50 years. Let's say prison justice is not meted out and he survives. Imagine, I mean, that's like the life of a tortoise that lives 190 years, because the days are just going to tick by so slowly. There's nothing to do. You can read. He will have a tablet. I'm going to get into that in a second. But back to daily routine.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to live
BK
in
now that he
in
has
prison 50
officially
years.
been
That's
moved
too
to
long.
solitary
You get
confinement.
bored.
Again, 23 hours per day in his
Or
cell
less.
out of 24. And you'll recall inmates at the county jail in Latah said that he would pace at night. He couldn't sleep at night, so he was up pacing all night and then would just take sort of cat naps during the day. 1 hour of that outdoor activity, again, in a cage outside. If he has to be moved from place to place, let's say the shower, he must go in full restraints. Shower happens every other day, sometimes just 3 times a week. He is allowed commissary, JPay, which is the prison communication system. So he'll be able to use a tablet effectively if he can afford one. You have to buy it in commissary. But if he can get the tablet, he can use it, and that's how he can communicate with his family and maybe some deranged people out there who want to pen pal with him. And I'm not
deranged people that want to PayPal,
but he'll have limited internet access and limited access, I guess, to entertainment like TV, streaming, that sort of thing. According to the warden, he is in long-term restrictive housing, and that, of course, is Idaho's absolute harshest prison environment. Idaho no longer, well, they have the death penalty, but no longer on the table for BK because of the plea deal. Now, who's locked up alongside him? Chad Daybell, the husband of Lori Vallow Daybell, the so-called doomsday mom. He's in there on death row. The inmates on death row, I found out, are able to come out into a little yard. So it's actually, believe it or not, less harsh for the death row inmates. Apparently, they're a group of 8, and Chad is the new one, but apparently they all sort of get along, and they play cards during the day with each other. I think they're even potentially allowed to pet an animal that strolls through, like a cat or a dog, if it goes through. Occasionally, the warden says he would bring his dog Chief in. Now, I'm not absolutely sure if those animals are allowed onto death row. I think it would be up to the discretion of the warden. But
Idaho
that
does
is the
suck.
company close to, at least, BK, not in the same block. You've also got serial killer Thomas Creech in there. He had a botched execution back in 2024, which put a small hiatus on execution by lethal injection, although they're going to try to get back to Thomas Creech. And then you've got an inmate named Gerald Pizzuto, who's also on death row. Again, BK not on death row, but this just shows you the caliber of criminal mind and criminal intent of the people.
I think they should
who
just
are
get
near
rid of
him.
that
Gerald
film,
Pizzuto,
but that's another
who is at
topic for another
IMSI,
day.
is a convicted serial killer. He was found guilty of the brutal double murders of Alberta Berta Herndon and her nephew Delbert Herndon back in July of 1985. It just goes to show you how long these people sit on death row. Thomas Creech has been there since the early 1970s. Not only did he murder them, but he bound and bludgeoned both victims to death with a hammer. One of them was also shot. He was convicted at that time of 2 counts of first-degree murder. And then in Washington State, back in 85, he's also convicted of killing Rita Drury by strangulation, and John Jones.
So he's been on death row
in Seattle, earning both
since
first-degree and second-degree murder
1970.
convictions,
Damn.
with a combined total of over 69 years in prison in Washington. So again, this just goes to show the depraved sort of criminal mind keeping company with BK at the IMSI. IMSI, it appeared okay to us when we saw it with our own bare eyes, but at one point by the Security Journal America,
That's a long time on death row.
it was ranked one of the 15 worst prisons in America. And among the things cited were feces, covered cages, violent brawls, and biohazard level ventilation. And we were warned when we went into the block for people with mental health issues that the smell would be overwhelming, but they had been working on it since the new warden took over, and that is relatively recent in the last year or so. The odor in there, not quite as bad, maybe because we got the warning, but again, just to paint the picture of how awful this place is, and because of these crimes, BK will be spending the rest of his life, at least for the foreseeable future, in solitary confinement. He was moved there back on Tuesday, July 29th, and could be there for days, years, months. It just depends on his status, and they're going to update it periodically, but he'll be there for the foreseeable future. In my opinion, and it's just a small opinion, that is a fate worse than death row. Because again, on death row, the inmates hang out in a small yard, we were told. They play cards during the day. They hang out and sometimes even have contact with some animals.
Yeah, they
pets,
can't keep you.
Courtesy of the warden. In the unit, the J block unit, where BK is going to be
They
held,
can't keep
that
you
is
on
not the case.
solitary
You're alone
confinement forever.
with
It's
your thoughts, your own
unconstitutional.
mind, all day, every day, with essentially 1 hour out on the yard, and you're alone out there too, stuck inside a cage. So anywhere he goes, he'll likely have 3 to 4 corrections officers. He'll be heavily shackled and heavily watched, again, for the foreseeable future. The Idaho Statesman, my good friend Kevin Fixler, getting a scoop with Bill Thompson. He, of course, is Latah County's longtime prosecutor. He broke down why the plea deal happened and what really held the case together. He said the main thing that made the difference, and I quote here, the DNA was critical to the strength of the case. He was referring to BK's paternal DNA match from trash collected at his parents' home, which linked him to the knife sheath at the left at the scene. Of course, when Olivia Gonzalez, Kaylee Gonzalez's sister, got up there for victim impact statements, she rubbed it into BK's face, essentially saying, "You're a loser and a failure and a bad killer because you got yourself caught," which is something that Dr. Ann Burgess, who was consulted, incidentally, by the Gonzalez's, it is something that Ann Burgess, the living legend, Dr. Ann Burgess, told us would really grate on him and get under his skin, and Olivia Gonzalez let him have it. It's interesting because Bill Thompson told Kevin Fixler of the Idaho Statesman, and I quote here, "I think it's fair to say we might have not been able to prosecute if it wasn't for that touch DNA evidence," which is just incredible. This guy could still be free. He went on to say that there was no motive, no murder weapon ever recovered, no known connection to the victims. We now know that BK in his possession had IDs of 2 students. That was uncovered, but none, as far as we know, related to the so-called Idaho 4. Bill Thompson told the Idaho Statesman, and I quote, "We did our job. We brought this to a conclusion that gave immediate finality." No one likes the word closure. There is no closure. These families and the victims' families are going to suffer. Of course, there are 2 surviving roommates. They both spoke at sentencing and gave their victim impact statements. Dylan Mortensen, of course, is one of them. She talked about how she saw BK the night of the murders. She describes a man in a black ski mask, slim build, about 6 feet tall, walking toward the sliding door. And Bill Thompson is asked about this and why she was not killed. Kevin Fixler of the Statesman asking him about it. And he says, and I quote, "I have a hard time imagining that the killer did not see Dylan." So the question is, why did he spare her? And Bill Thompson answers, he'd been in the house probably longer than he planned. He had killed more people than he had planned. It wouldn't surprise us if he panicked. And then in the courtroom, Dylan filled in some of the gaps here, saying, "What he did shattered me in places I didn't know could break. I had to sleep in my mom's bed. I was terrified to close my eyes," and goes on to say, "My nervous system never got the message that it was over." And that's the reason why she didn't call 911 for so long. She was literally in a state of shock. And when you saw her, like I did, inside that courtroom, delivering that victim impact statement, I mean, she didn't have the strength to stand up. She had to sit down, and then her mom was comforting her, and it was just painful to watch. I mean, really, really painful. This was some of the most raw emotion, if not the most raw emotion that we saw this entire time, particularly at the sentencing for BK. Why was BK's family not called to testify at the trial or at the plea hearing? Well, Bill Thompson answered that as well. Of course, BK's mother is a woman named Mary Ann, the sister Amanda. Bill Thompson said, and I quote, "They just weren't the best witnesses to show what was going on." I had a very good look at both the mother and the sister. They were probably 7 feet from me. And when one of the victim impact statements mentioned that BK not only destroyed these victims' families, but he also destroyed his own family.
Which he did.
Mary Ann, she just started sobbing. The mother, the sister was really broken up as well. Bill Thompson went on to say that the parents were understandably also protective of their son, sort of inferring that they didn't want to give up too much information if they had some on him. And as far as the sister goes, and I quote here, the sister didn't have anything specific to contribute, which is why they maybe weren't called during the plea hearing and why they wouldn't have been called during the trial. Bill Thompson also noted that the family was interviewed in January of 2024, so almost 2 years ago, and again during his arrest back in December of 2022. But Bill Thompson says, and again I quote, "Nothing they shared was substantively incriminating." After the plea deal, the family did release a statement. I think it was one of the only ones, or at least a rare statement, saying, and I quote again, "We will not release any comments or take questions. Please respect our wishes." So they are staying mum about everything. You know you're a bad person, an evildoer, as the great detective Phil Waters says. You know that's the case when a notorious serial killer wants you as his cellie, and that is the deal with Keith Jesperson. He is the so-called happy face killer. He suggested publicly this week on a podcast that BK should transfer to the Oregon State Penitentiary, where the happy face killer is serving life himself. The exact quote is as follows: "Best bet for Koberger is to come to Oregon and spend his time here. This would be a great place for him to fall into." That's wonderful. You've got a notorious serial killer wanting you to move in and be cellies together for all eternity. He says the happy face killer is warning people that BK may be targeted in Idaho because of, number one, the staring. We all know all too well that blank deep stare, and also the high profile murders of these very attractive, smart, intelligent, young University of Idaho women, specifically Kelly Gonzalez, Maddie Mogan, her best friend, and Xana Kernodle. He says this is now the happy face killer, saying that, listen, the other inmates at the IMSI, the Idaho Maximum Security Institution, are not going to be happy when they learn about this. Most of them obviously already know what's going on. And I asked Warden Randy Valley all about that. He said, look, not only did the inmates today get information off of their tablets in real time, but if they want any other information, all they do is call home and say, hey, Mom, can you Google this or look this up? My kids say, search it up. These inmates may say, hey, search up such and such, and literally in the snap of finger, they have information available to them. So they all know exactly who BK is and what he did. Something else we're learning as this information continues to flow in, there were other red flags regarding BK before the murders. At Washington State University, two professors reportedly discussed whether they should do an intervention with BK, and this came after he offended several female students. the Washington State University
How
Police
did he
Chief
offend
Gary
them?
Jenkins, who I interviewed live last week when I was at the sentencing, and you can find that under the live tab. He gave us a comprehensive 30-minute interview, but to this outlet, he said, and I quote, BK followed a female student out to her car trying to flirt. In grad school, BK reportedly showed unusual interest also in mass killer Elliot Rodger, part of the quote-unquote incel movement. And then classmate Brittany Slavin said, the rest of us were horrified by Rodger's murders. Brian did not seem bothered. So again, at one point there was going to be a literal intervention by a couple of professors with BK because of his unusual behavior. If anyone could have picked up on it, it would have been them, these criminology students. Although Catherine Ramsland, who is a very well-known criminologist who wrote a book with BTK, another notorious serial killer, you know, she came right out and said she didn't suspect BK of anything, nothing at all. She, after writing a book with BTK, and some people have compared, I don't know why, but have compared BK to BTK. But she said, hey, I had no idea. So there you go. Bottom line now, as I started, I will finish. BK is now in closed custody, officially in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day by himself with his own thoughts, which actually for him might be a happy place because it's deranged in there and maybe he enjoys being in that little box of a head of his. 23 hours a day alone. Food and water pass through a slot in the door. He does not go to a dining hall. It is passed through, and he eats on that crappy little metal bed. Fishing is common. We saw it happening while we were there. That's when inmates use strings from bed sheets to pass notes to each other. That is a way they communicate, and I'm sure people.
Yeah, but they can't keep you there forever. It's unconstitutional, as the Supreme Court says.
They're going to want to talk to him. Some are going to want to.
They'll probably keep him there for like 10 years.
It's going to be touch and go for that guy within the walls of the IMSI for the, as I said, foreseeable future. Again, the happy-faced killer, Keith Jesperson, saying that Oregon would be quote-unquote softer, but says that BK's fate is quote-unquote sealed in Idaho, which is a chilling thought, that his fate is sealed in Idaho. What does that mean? Does that mean he's going to get prison justice? It's a good possibility. Does it mean he's going to live alone for the next 50 or 55 years, however long he lives? That's another very good possibility. Keep in mind, he's also a vegan. The warden did tell us that alternate meals for different religions are honored at the IMSI, but wouldn't tell us specifics about what kind of food that meant. At the Latah County Jail near Moscow, Idaho, we know, or inside Moscow, Idaho, he was being fed peanut butter and jelly. That was the vegan meal he was getting. He's also a neat freak. He was reportedly washing his hands constantly. And at one point during a football game, when the inmates were watching the game and were talking some smack, it triggered BK. He got up and said, hey, you talking about me? You talking about my mother? And they're like, no, we're just talking about a football game. Relax yourself. And they said that was the only time they really saw like sort of an angry, mean streak in him. So BK, listen, he might have disappeared or tried to disappear into the night. You just heard Bill Thompson say that outside of that DNA, that touch DNA off the knife sheet, they may not have had a case, and this guy could potentially still have walked free. That's how close it really was. But now, instead of disappearing into the night, BK is disappearing into the silence of the night every hour, every single day. No parole, no real appeal, although it is sort of in the cards. Despite the plea deal that says that there is no appeal, still within Idaho law, there is a chance that there will be an appeal made. Will it be looked at seriously by a judge? That is very unlikely. So I am comfortable saying that there will be no parole, no appeal, no escape for BK. That is the very latest on this case that we have been covering, as I said, from day one, back on November 13th,
yeah, I agree.
2022. We forget that monster, and we will always remember Kaylee Gonzalez, her best friend, Madison Mogan, and boyfriend and girlfriend, Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle. May their memories be a blessing forever. Love you, America. See you next time.
They probably got mommy issues. Alright, good night, Wild Dog. Take care. I'm better in the stream, guys. Take care, guys. Thank you for joining us. Guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Anytime, Wild Dog. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Thank you for joining us. Bye.